a tiny traveler in the realm of love. Introducing the Flea. John Donne, the master of metaphysical poetry, often surprises us with his unusual and thought-provoking themes. In The Flea, he takes a simple, even insignificant creature, a flea, and transforms it into a vehicle for exploring love, desire, and union. This unexpected comparison between a flea and the complexities of human relationships is a hallmark of Donne's metaphysical style. The poem is playful and witty, yet it also grapples with serious philosophical and religious ideas. Donne's The Flea is a classic example of a metaphysical poem for several reasons. Firstly, it employs a unique and surprising conceit, the extended comparison between the flea and the union of lovers. Secondly, the poem is characterized by its intellectual wit and playful argumentation. The speaker cleverly uses logic and reasoning to persuade his beloved. Finally, the flea explores themes of love, sex, and morality in a way that transcends the purely physical. The architecture of desire, structure and form in The Flea. The Flea is a short poem consisting of 3 stanzas, each with 9 lines. This regular structure, combined with a consistent AABBCCDDEE rhyme scheme, gives the poem a sense of order and control. This formal structure contrasts with the speaker's passionate, even playful arguments. This contrast between form and content adds to the poem's complexity and interest. The tone of the poem is conversational and intimate. The speaker directly addresses his beloved, creating a sense of immediacy and urgency. The language is witty, engaging, and often laced with double meanings. Donne's use of puns and wordplay adds to the poem's intellectual playfulness. A shared sacrament, the flea as a symbol of union. The poem opens with the speaker directing his beloved's attention to a flea that has just bitten both of them. The speaker immediately establishes the flea as a symbol of their union. He argues that because their blood is mingled within the flea, they have already achieved a kind of unity. The speaker emphasizes the flea's small and insignificant nature. He does this to suggest that their act of lovemaking, which he desires, would be equally insignificant. This argument is presented with a touch of irony, as the speaker clearly believes that their union is anything but insignificant. Life, death, and a flea, the speaker's elaborate argument. In the second stanza, the speaker continues to build his case. He argues that killing the flea would be a triple sin. It would be killing him, her, and the flea itself. He uses the flea's life as leverage, implying its death would have greater consequences than their love should. Again, Donne uses hyperbole and exaggeration to make his point. He knows that killing the flea is not literally a sin, but he uses this argument to highlight the sacredness of their potential union. The speaker's logic is flawed, but deliberately so. He is using wit and wordplay to try to seduce his beloved. Section 5. A lover's protest and a triumphant flea. The final stanza. The third stanza reveals the beloved's response. She has killed the flea. The speaker expresses mock despair, lamenting that the flea has died despite not losing any of its life from the supposed mingling of their blood. However, the speaker has one final, triumphant argument. He points out that the flea's death has proven his argument wrong. If the flea's death is inconsequential, then so too is her resistance to his advances. The poem ends on a note of ambiguity. We do not know if the speaker has succeeded in persuading his beloved. Section 6. Beyond the literal, metaphysical conceits in the flea. The flea is rich in metaphysical conceits, which are extended metaphors that draw surprising and often unexpected comparisons. The central conceit, of course, is the flea itself. By comparing the flea to the union of lovers, Donne elevates a mundane and even repulsive creature to a symbol of love, intimacy, and even religious significance. Donne also uses other conceits throughout the poem. For example, he compares the flea's bite to a religious sacrament, and the mingling of their blood within the flea to a kind of marriage. These comparisons are unexpected and even shocking, but they force us to look at familiar concepts in new and thought-provoking ways. Section 7. Fleas and philosophy, religious and philosophical undertones. Beneath its playful surface, the flea grapples with serious philosophical and religious ideas. The poem reflects the anxieties about sin, mortality, and the afterlife that were prevalent in Donne's time. The flea, in a sense, becomes a microcosm of the universe. The speaker's arguments, while often absurd, touch on complex theological debates about the nature of the soul and the significance of physical acts. Donne was a former Catholic priest who later converted to the Church of England. This religious background is evident in his poetry. Section 8. A legacy of wit and ingenuity. The flea and its enduring impact. The flea stands as a testament to the power of metaphysical poetry. Donne's masterful use of language, imagery, and argumentation continues to captivate readers centuries after its composition. The poem's enduring popularity lies in its ability to entertain, provoke, and challenge our perspectives on love, desire, and the human condition. Donne's The Flea is not just a clever seduction poem, it is a profound meditation on life, death, and the nature of love. Through its wit, ingenuity, and philosophical depth, the poem has secured its place as a cornerstone of metaphysical poetry and a timeless exploration of human experience. Section 9. Beyond the metaphysical, Donne's influence on poetry. John Donne's influence on English poetry is immeasurable. His innovative use of metaphysical conceits, his intellectual wit, and his willingness to tackle complex philosophical and religious themes paved the way for generations of poets. Donne's impact is evident in the works of poets as diverse as Andrew Marvell, T.S. Eliot, and Sylvia Plath. His ability to find the extraordinary in the ordinary, to combine intellectual rigor with emotional intensity, continues to inspire and challenge readers today.